Emotional labor. Emotional labor is the invisible tax high-performing, marginalized leaders pay just to stay in the room. It's managing other people's discomfort with your presence. It's softening your tone so you're not labeled aggressive. It's mentoring without recognition. It's translating across cultures while still hitting your matrix. And because you're competent, it becomes expected. That's the cost. Let's break it down through the elevation lens. Liberation, the internal drain. Emotional labor quietly siphons your energy. You monitor reactions. You anticipate bias. You regulate yourself and everyone else. Over time, you stop asking, what do I need? And start asking, how do I keep this room stable? That is internal overfunctioning. Liberation requires releasing perfectionism and emotional labor that quietly siphons power. Here's the hard truth. If you are constantly managing the emotional climate, you are not fully leading, you are stabilizing. And stabilizing is exhausting. The cost shows up as decision fatigue, resentment you can't quite name, success that doesn't feel satisfying. You look accomplished. You feel depleted. Visibility, the recognition gap. Emotional labor is rarely measured, but it is deeply relied on. You smooth conflict. You mentor junior staff. You make the culture work. But because it's relational, it's not always seen as strategic. Excellence that remains invisible is lost. When emotional labor isn't named, it becomes free consulting, free therapy, free DEI infrastructure. And suddenly, you're carrying the representation tax without the authority to change the system. Visibility here means documenting and positioning the relational work as leadership work, or deciding where it no longer belongs to you. Transformation, when the system depends on your exhaustion. Here's the deep cost. Some systems are quietly sustained by your emotional labor. They function because you absorb tension. They avoid change because you buffer conflict. They don't evolve because you keep things from breaking. Transformation demands we shape teams, cultures, and norms, not just succeed inside them. If the system collapses without your emotional cushioning, that is data. The goal is not to harden. The goal is to redistribute shared accountability instead of silence carrying. Clear norms instead of personal mediation. Structural solutions instead of personality management. The real cost? The cost of emotional labor is not just exhaustion, it's delayed authority. It's muted influence. It's potential diverted into maintenance instead of impact. You are not called to manage everyone's feelings. You are called to lead. The question is not how I stop caring. The question is, what emotional labor is aligned with my role? What emotional labor is inherited, not assigned? What would shift if I stopped absorbing what the system refuses to own? Elevation requires internal freedom, strategic visibility, and systemic change. If your leadership is powered by constant emotional regulation of others, that's not sustainable influence. That's survival dressed up as strength. And you're beyond survival now.